But for the older generations, is whatever they had happen to them, they pushed it and shoved it to the side. Hence why some of you guys are angry today. Some of you guys are miserable today. Some of you guys don't get along with your children. You don't talk to your kids. That's exactly the issue that we, Gen Zs, want to prevent from happening to our kids. Hey guys, welcome back to the episode of Surviving Life Podcast with your girl Tiana was, aka Favorite Auntie, and today we're going to be talking about Gen Z versus everybody, because I feel like we are almost like the most hated generation. And I don't know why, but we're really going to talk about it because it really it's annoying. It really is annoying because we're supposed to have the older generation give us a little bit of leeway. They're supposed to be leading. We're supposed to have an understanding, but also make it our own. And I feel like it's really, really hard out here for us. Let's really get into this topic. If you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe. On this channel, we do a variety of things. We do fashion, lifestyle, and we do advice. If you like those three things, I'm your girl to tap into. Let's hop right into this video. So I really feel like the older generations don't like us, and I think it's because we do not subscribe to the behaviors that they have. And when I say that, I mean, for example, I'm going to use the workforce, working. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. In the workforce, the American dream, especially for the baby boomers, they sold us this American dream of go to school, work hard, get your degree, you'll find a job. That is not necessarily what happens, to be honest. Use me as an example. I got my criminal justice degree. I was trying to figure out, but I figured it out because I actually do love my major that I didn't major in. I figured it out. I'm navigating, but then I had to also understand there's certain parts of me that can't do this. Like me personally, I can't be nobody's police officer. No. I genuinely know that I can't be nobody's police officer. I just can't. Like, I see NYPD and I can't, but I know that I love to talk. I love to give advice. I love to be a person that gives peace and navigates. So I found my outer layer to do that, which I'm working on. So you have people who go to school, major what they major, and they don't get a job. And then when you try to get a job, you need the experience. You want the person with more experience, but you won't give us any type of experience. And another thing too about Gen Z is that we do not believe in working as hard as y'all did for the pay that y'all got. No offense, no tea, no shade. That's just not us, okay? Because we overwork ourselves, be underpaid, be undertreated, and it's not fair. We know our worth as a human being, so we're not going to be sitting here bending back and forward, no offense, for some companies that genuinely don't care about us. And I'm not saying all companies are like that. I'm just saying that sometimes you have companies that don't necessarily care about their employees. And it shows sometimes. It shows, and that's another thing why we don't necessarily feel like we should bend back and forward for a company that in the end, God forbid, the same way that companies want us to give them 2 weeks notice, they will fire you right on the spot. And necessarily that's not fair to us. So we just have a different way of thinking. And also we've seen how you guys work so hard to get the things that you guys want, but we also see how damaged you guys are. No tea, no shade. Like I said, no tea, no shade. And this goes for baby boomers, I think Gen X, millennials, some millennials, not all. And it's great to see that some millennials have an understanding of us as Gen Zs, and we have an understanding of y'all too, where we could actually understand each other and get along. But for the other generations, you guys are pretty judgmental, and you guys are not very open-minded. So for us, it's just like, don't get me wrong, love y'all, but when I say that you guys are judgmental, very judgmental. For you guys, it's like, especially baby boomers, for you it's just like it's one way or the highway, and that's not necessarily how things are. And I just feel like it's not fair, and then you guys pass judgment on us because we don't do things the way that you do. And not even just that, you have to understand that the economy is different now. It was easier to buy a house back then. Now, no, a house now, apartments, houses, too expensive. I don't know what's going on with that, but it's too expensive. And half of us can't afford to move out. We're stuck at home. And then we get this whole, oh, when I was your age, I moved out. I had 2 kids. When that was back in 1956, baby. This is 2024. Okay. The way that y'all lived worked for y'all. Y'all were able to get by. We can't even get by. Do you know the freaking average minimum wage is $7 and change? Ain't nobody could be able to afford no apartment on that. Ain't nobody could afford no land on that. We gotta work 2 jobs, 3 jobs to even make it past a living, okay? And nobody could afford that. Nobody could afford that. Let's be realistic. Nobody could afford that. Like, I feel like if baby boomers were reincarnated today, they would complain as much as we complain now. They say that we complain, but we have to complain because who's going to change anything? We are in here messed up. And another thing that I want to speak about with Gen Z is that I admire this about us. To this day, we stand up for ourselves. That's 1. 2, we call out bullshit. Yeah. You deny my PTO, I ain't coming in. I didn't ask, I told you. There's a difference. And we are breaking the generational curses. Okay. Now, when I say that we are breaking the generation curses, I feel like we are the individuals who will sit there and notice that something is wrong with us, and we're seeking that mental health, and we have to get it out, because if we don't, we're going to continue to drive ourselves crazy, and that's not fair to us. Especially for the Black community, we have been so conditioned to like, oh, what happens in this house stays in this house. You didn't have a bad childhood growing up. You had food on the table. You went to school. You had clothes on your back. You came home. You slept. You had a bed to sleep in. That's that. You didn't have no bad childhood growing up. In reality, everybody has some type of trauma in their childhood to a certain extent. Now, I'm not saying some might not be bad than others. Some might have had it way worse, but everybody has a case of it. It's whether if you're going to sit there and analyze and know that something is wrong. But for the older generations, is whatever they had happen to them, they pushed it and shoved it to the side. Hence why some of you guys are angry today. Some of you guys are miserable today. Some of you guys don't get along with your children. You don't talk to your kids. That's exactly the issue that we, Gen Zs, want to prevent from happening to our kids. Okay? That's what we want to prevent. So if I can get myself well put together emotionally, spiritually, financially, of course, then I feel like I'll be able to give my kids everything. Now, I can say emotionally, I'm not fully there. Financially, I'm not fully there. Spiritually, yes, I am. I love my God. I talk to him all the time. But there's still certain things that I know that I have to work on before I can even have my kids now. Granted, I want my kids to have a space where they feel like they can talk to me about everything, and I will make them feel like, oh, you're dramatic, oh, that's not that serious, oh, please spare me. I don't want my kids to ever feel like I'm doing that to them, because I know what that feels like, and I feel like I feel like I gotta stop this. We need to start back our vocabulary thing. Genuinely, for us Gen Zs, that's something big, because we didn't have that growing up. And I'm saying we didn't have that growing up because our millennial parents couldn't give us that, because their parents couldn't give them that. So if we can sit here and stop the generational curses and break it, it could be something different and new going forward. Exactly what I want to do. So yes, and I say millennial parents because some of us do have millennial parents, but whatever is the generation before millennials, those parents did those to the Gen Zs because they probably had them a little bit later. So yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about right now. And it's hard, but also it's something that we're willing to do. We're willing to go through the hard stuff and trials and tribulations. That way our kids won't necessarily have to deal with those issues. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying to figure out what's wrong with you. Because if you don't, you're going to go through your whole life miserable, mad, arguing for no reason, yelling for no reason. You don't want that. Well, I necessarily don't want that, and I don't want my kids to experience that. So I'm trying my best. I go to therapy every Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, so we got therapy session today, and I'm doing what I got to do to change myself for the better, not just for me, but for my kids in the future, for my husband in the future, for anything, because at the end of the day, that needs to be done for me to even make a better progress for life. Yeah, so that's what us Gen Z, There's nothing wrong with that. But we have been conditioned to believe that, oh, that's too soft, too soft. Oh, problem. No, you're too soft. That's that soft stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. You're human. Are we not human? Like, are we not human? Do you not have feelings? So the fact that we have been conditioned to feel like that for so long is more of a reason why Gen Z is just like, fuck that. I need to make sure I'm able to get all these emotions out. It is okay to get the emotions out. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Growing up, I feel like we have been told that for so long. Like, you're not really supposed to cry. Even girls, you're not supposed to cry like that. Or if you cry, you don't let nobody see you cry, you know? And it's like very frustrated, actually. Very annoying. Like, I remember I went to go pick up my baby cousin from school. I was in an Uber and he was like, oh, what's happening? I was like, she's not really having a good day, so I'm going to go pick her up. I was like, oh, these kids today so soft. I raised my daughter to be hard. Like, what? What? They're a kid. What you talking about? Like, I was like, ugh. I rolled my eyes in the back of my head. I'm like, these ignorant people. Like, it's just a bad way of trying to raise your kids because you're forcing your kids to adult up and be strong. They're children. Be for real. They're kids. They're children. Be for real. Allow them to have that space, and it's okay for boys and girls. But, you know, we're not conditioned that way. We have to break those curses, and that's what Gen Z is all about. And necessarily because when we start to find peace and we start to understand certain things, we're sitting here like, why are you like that? Like, what is wrong with you? That's exactly what goes through our head. Like, why are you so miserable? That's what goes through our head sometimes because it's like we're trying to find peace and we're finding it, and then we just look at the opposite side. We'd be like, well, damn, maybe you need to go find some peace. And that's why we really can't coexist with each other, because we notice that we may have some stuff that we need to work on, but y'all never want to analyze it, honestly say, yeah, I got some issues to work on, because you pushed it to the back of your head for your subconscious, so you don't really think about it. But deep down inside, that child abuse you went through, it bothers you. The absent father, it bothers you. The absent mother, it bothers you. The lack of emotional intelligence from both parents, it bothers you. You just want to sit there, act like it don't, but it do. And it do. And it do. The lack of self-love that you have, it bothers you. The fact that you kept dating and can't find the right man, they just use and abuse you, it bothers you. It bothers you, and that is okay. It's all right as long as you talk about it. Even if you could just write it in a journal. Yeah. And yeah, we just not y'all. I think that's another thing too. Why they be mad at Gen Z. They not like us, and we not like y'all. That's it. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay. But the issue becomes when you guys are not able to actually understand us, and hence why. Because, for example, I saw this TikTok video. The girl was like, this lady made a video about why we don't hire Gen Z. Oh, they break out, start singing songs. What? Because we're happy? She was like, the world is crumbling. And the little inch of happiness that I find you're mad at, what does that make sense? And I thought about it because honestly, I be breaking out doing my little dances at work. I be like, I be one AirPod in, one AirPod in. Busting out the dance moves, because girl, the world is shitty, and I'm in a good mood today. What's wrong with you? And also in the workforce, like when you're working, I think it has to do with a lot of jealousy, and it just don't make no sense. But I've been learning a lot along the lines of when I'm working, like at all the jobs I work, there's always going to be someone older than you who looks at you in like the most utter disgust because they wish that they were able to do what you were doing at their age. And it's just like, damn girl, I'm thinking we supposed to be kumbaya, you giving me the tea to gens, but really you hating on me from the back. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. That don't make no sense, you know? And I just feel like, because we not like y'all, and that's okay. I feel like everybody's generation was supposed to be made different. You're supposed to make a plan for the next generation to come, and I feel like as Gen Zs, we are doing that. We are doing that. But I don't want to talk about that because I really feel like they don't like us. I just be like, damn, like, wow, we just don't get along. But I wish that we could. I wish that we could. I wish that we would. I wish that we were able to learn from each other, because there's nothing wrong with learning from the younger crowd, and there's nothing wrong with learning from the older crowd. And I just wish that we can like coexist and really just be like, okay, that was the old way of thinking. This is a new way of thinking. We're open to this, and come together and actually, you know, do what we got to do. But sadly, that's not that. And they're not hiring us at jobs either. That's crazy, because if you're not going to hire us, who you going to hire? Cause it ain't much love. It ain't much of the old people, old generations. Like, who you gonna hire? Exactly. Who are you gonna hire? And the whole PTO thing and denying, it's just like, I've been here for a year and change. If I want to go on vacation, I should be able to go on vacation. If I go on vacation and you tell me no and I still go, none of your business. For real. Like, really, it really isn't. At that point, I think you're just doing too much. Because if you have to go look into my deep life and what I'm doing, something is wrong. Because people have lives outside of work. Don't ever make a job your whole life, because that's when you become a miserable person. And when you do that, you just set yourself up for failure. But anyways, that's all I want to talk about for today. I love you guys. See you guys in the next video. Bye.